feature performer this evening. You professional?
That introduction, for real. I feel like I gotta own up to something now. I could just bomb a whole set and be like, what the fuck was all that shit Nas was talking about? I tell them this is my country too. From sea to shining sea, I pledge allegiance to a trail of blood where men were once kings. And write poems for the type of people that would die for the kind of leaders that in turn wouldn't even take a bullet for their own believers. This is my country too. Where the spirits of natives haunt us for vaccines. And all make an elected president just to hike up the price of gasoline. And politicians bail out companies like Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, but won't provide you with the income to get your own house back. So pardon me, I tell my teachers maybe we got more in common than you may think. Because your heroes have participated in Boston Tea Parties with nothing more than freedom fighters, something called terrorists. And sometimes you lose patience. It only takes one man to move a nation, like Nat Turner, buckled down in chains, just hours before the Southampton slave massacres, in the cotton fields, smirking at the house masters, and thinking to himself, they have no idea what's about to happen. Midnight's the best time to catch them relaxing. Grab your guns, tell him to run, kick down the door and separate the women and children, and put the barrel in his mouth, and watch him mumble, go back to Africa just before you let the clip out. But just before his family hears the sounds, you make sure you tell him, but this is my country now. And sometimes you lose patience. It only takes one woman to rebuild her nation. So I follow the slang of runaways or underground pathways. When you hear the dogs, keep going. When you get to the north, you make sure you tell them. Just like the soldiers before them, whether you forgot them in Vietnam or Iraq, whether they're a patriot or they walk around with the rag of a burned American flag. This is my country too. Whether we're in Memphis, Tennessee or Los Angeles, we'll burn this bitch down for our kings. Walk up in the Sacramento State Senate like Black Panthers with artillery, with the same type of passion as a governor from Arkansas who once believed in segregation so hard, he would call the state's National Guards. Just like Klansmen that burn crosses and throw them on our yards. This is my country too. Just like black men that hung from trees, like fruit with seeds that would sprout and blossom just to grow up so they could hang there too. To the lies my teachers told me in school, to the people who are so quick to pat themselves on the back for this country that left them a black president, just so they can say racism doesn't exist. I tell them, oh yeah, we'll take a look at the hate mail I still get. They still call me a nigga every chance they get, still talk about hanging me from tree limbs, still tell me to go back to Africa even though it's a place I've never been. So I tell them, I may not be your American, I may not look like your hero or your role model, but just like the face on the dollar bill you praise, it only takes one man to move a nation. So I tell them like natives, I tell them like American-born slaves. There's a trail you can trace all the way from the White House to the railroads in the South, and it's buried deep, thick at the roots, the blood of men who died. For me to be able to say that this is my country too. She said she just doesn't want to ruin the experience. She said early that night, when we first met, she knew her days of waiting for someone to understand just came to an end. Said it wasn't so much my poems that got her thinking that I wasn't like most men. She said afterwards, it was our conversation. Simply, I made her smile. And she doesn't want to ruin what we got ruined right now, so maybe we're just moving too fast. And she said all this while we were laying in bed with the lights dim, sheets wet, and the covers hanging off her ass. And as she said this, I noticed the puddle dripping on my fingertips and pulled back a few inches and replied, huh? I mean, You could have warned me at the door before you were butt-ass naked that you had a tendency to flake, and let's be real, you wouldn't be here in the same bed if you didn't want to be in the first place. And she says, yeah, maybe I'm just tripping a bit. So I then begin to kiss her body again, just to take my fingers and place her pussy in riddles and whisper into her ear. Baby, my tongue also knows how to play a fiddle. In the middle of my sympathy, she then grabbed my face and said, wait, I just don't want to ruin the experience. So with a river dripping on my lips, she said, you see, I just don't want to think any less of you tomorrow. So you laugh, you heard them, huh? You heard them. So what if you can have me right now for one night, or we could wait. You can have me for every day for the rest of your life. And I'm like, fuck, for the rest of my life? So I got real. Sugar, first off, why the hell you planning out the rest of my life? And I can leave right now and die in a car crash on the way home tonight, and I'm sure one thing I'll be thinking is, damn, I could at least went out with a bang. And I'm sure the thought of never seeing me again started to hit like we all really only have one chance here. So she then grabbed the back of my hand and said, fuck me like the star everyone says you are. And I'm like, damn, it's like she knows exactly what to say to get my dick hard. So I then grabbed a condom and put on top of the yard, ripped the top of the wrapper off and started to kiss her body again. And she starts to moan again. I just don't want to ruin the experience. Do you really think it's cool? I'm like, yeah, it's cool. She's like, well, I just don't want to be a fool. I'm like, yeah, me too. She's like, well, I don't usually. And I'm like, what's that shit? I fuck up the mood? And she's like, well, I just want to know what's going to happen tomorrow. I'm like, baby, the sun will come up. And she's like, huh? I'm like, tomorrow. There's one thing I'm sure of is that the sun will rise in the east. And she's like, well, what the hell does that have to do with anything? So I then stopped and pulled the condom off the sock and said it was odd as that I wouldn't be here if I really didn't like you. You see, early when we met, you seemed so confident, but now you're waving, it's making me incompetent, and really I don't think it's me, it's you. And really, what's all this talk about not respecting me in the morning because we had sex the night before? Well, then, really, what's that to say about you? I mean, you seem like you got to rehearse down like one of my poems, so I can't be the first dude you told this to. And putting yourself in situations where things like this can and will transpire and getting decisive and cute. Sugar, may get turned off too. I just look at it like, why wait? Taking things slow to me is like playing games. Sugar, my time here is precious. And you ain't got let society make you feel guilty for wanting to take me home the first night we met. When really, you should look at it more like right now, you're the most important woman in my life. And I can see the twinkle in her eyes again, nipples getting hard again. But just as I reached to put my pants back on, she stopped me and asked me where I was going. So I told her, darling, I'm not trying to persuade you to regret nothing. I'm just telling you how we got in the same bed, with the lights dim, sheets wet, and your ass butt naked about to start coming. But honestly, I could masturbate. Because there's something where I gotta leave you convinced that maybe we should just wait. Because obviously, it can ruin the experience. I used to wake up and take cold showers, asking my soul to give me the willpower to feel convinced that this poetry shit is just some kind of phase I'm in. Because God, it's like he just looked me right into my eyes and caught my bluff and said, here, if you really love this shit so much, try turning your back on everything else you could have been just to see how long you could live off something people don't want to get the time to truly support in the first place. And my friends, they say you can see it all over my face. Like, I've just gotten this dang look ever since I started spitting poetry for a living. They keep telling me how my body just looks worn down from all the traveling, cars, vans, airports, bus stations that I've just slept in. Like, the second I walk into a room after coming in from one of my poetry venues, even for asking, they know where I've been. If they really want to test my patience, they can tell me how much money I just brought in. So they keep wondering why I keep relying on the people I feed with words to feed me in return, and half the time I'm just feeling raped from half the open mics I just walked in. But what they don't understand is, no matter this disdain expression my face gives, the only reason I keep coming back is the Lord keeps placing people right in the middle of my path just to keep reminding me how much I love this shit. Because it's just when you figure you're about to quit that one soul comes to be after one of your shows and puts $20 in your hands and tells you, yo, keep moving. You're too talented to be wrapped up in corporate America or strained to some system. And some of us need you a little bit more than the credit you've been given, so please keep moving. And I swear, I do this shit for my fans, for that woman in Munich, Germany who felt like I was talking to her in the middle of my abortion piece, telling me she was a little short on affording the CD, but I could see it in her eyes. She needed a little bit more than me, so I told her I was cool with whatever she had. And it's like, since the Lord knows what I'm thinking, He has me on the string, know the place in front of me to keep me coming back. You can try and break your bond with the devil, but how can you turn your back on God by giving you exactly what you ask? And it's like my life is just an example. Like, if I just somehow failed the Lord, how would that look to that one soul I just grabbed for Him? So I keep giving people my time after I perform, even though my energy levels just have past death. Poets want to know what drives me to write the poems I do, so I tell them what I just tell anybody else. I'm just plagiarizing anything I see, because my sole beneficial to write is life. And I keep telling these cats, all they gotta do is live it and to be the dopest poet that ever graced the mic. I keep telling them, all you gotta do is ignore all the hype, ignore all the wholesome promoters that don't love this shit like you do, and all the 5-minute standing room on events you just travel 6 hours to and perform your soul out like God, which is tells you to be somewhere in the venue that night. You gotta put your faith in it like you just signed your life away and started marching with the Lord's signature. So excuse this disdain look on my face. The only choice I have in the matter is to live the experience. Because it's like God just looked me right into my eyes and caught my bluff and said, here, now go do something with it. Thank y'all.